Hi fellow Webflowers, welcome to part 10 of this multi-step tutorial where I'm going to show you how to build this website. So in the last video we have built together the section that shows the process of this tool, and in this video I'm going to show you the section that will build more trust at the visitor. And in case this is the first video you are watching, you find the link to the playlist in the description. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we start with a look into our design. We can see we have a headline here, then a couple of text sections with a button, and we have this moon here. This moon will be a lottie animation that is sticky and animates while it's scrolling through the viewport. So let's go to Webflow. First thing we do is we add a new section. We call this section a trust. Then we need a div for our section padding. We just use the same one as always, is pad TB 128. So this adds 8 EM top and bottom padding for us. Then next thing is we need a section wrapper. We call this one trust wrap, and then actually we need another wrapper for the title. Oops. Turned into a text block. Call it trust heading wrap. And I go to the section and I give this section the background color of blue. And now I can go to my trust heading wrap and set this to flex and center the content. And in here I can add heading. This will be an is H2 and also here an H2. If I have a look at the design, I can see that we'll have this salmon color. So I go to the wrap because it is an individual wrapping class. I can go here to the color settings and turn it to the salmon color, and yeah, the color gets inherit to the headline. So I copy my text here. And yeah, that's actually already my heading section. So next thing we need is a grid to build this section. And yeah, of course, a spacing block. So we go, I forgot something. I forgot to add the container actually. Otherwise it will be full width everything. Container called 12, and I'm going to move it up here, put everything in here, and now you can see I have this padding coming from my container. So yeah, now let's get on. I need some padding here or some margin. Let's use 64 pixels, so 4 EM. And now I need a grid. Oh. Call it trust grid. And now I can edit it. Yeah, we need 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. And yeah, rows can be auto, that's fine. And let's leave the spacings, the gap settings to 1 EM for now. And let's see if we need to change it later. You saw once I entered EM, actually the gap disappeared. Yeah, we have to go to the width settings of the grid itself and give it 100%. And now you can see the gap is back. So next thing we need is a content wrap for our text. And let's add a div for it, give it our global class content wrap. and we need a heading in there, and we need a paragraph in there, and we need a button in there. I can go somewhere else and copy it. I need this one. Yeah, this one. Let's copy it in here. Then I give it a combo class is trust, because I'm turning it to flex with this settings, and I give the rows spacing of 2em. Oh, I have to turn it vertical like this, and well, maybe 1.5. Yeah. So the headline needs to be salmon. Let's see what happens. Okay, this text gets also salmon. Let's see which font size we have here. We have the style is txt medium, so that's also the class we need to use. Like this. And yeah, we can give it a combo class. Or actually, let's do it the other way. Let's get rid of that here. No, okay, doesn't make sense. Okay, we do it that way. We give this is txt white as a combo class, and now actually it looks like in the design. Let's copy the text. Here we go. So that's actually already our first content wrap. Now we need a container for this moon, and that means we need something that spans the entire column of our grid, and we need to make some manual spacing for that. So yeah, let's select our grid, add another div, and give it a class trust moon wrap. Set it to manual. Column 2 is fine, and it should span from row 1 to row 3, because we will need 3 rows. And yeah, now we can copy this, or we can duplicate this and move this to here. Copy the text. That's it. And we can see this is somewhere, yeah, more down. But let's duplicate it once more, and now we have it here. That's fine. Now actually we already have 1, 2, and 3 rows. Now we have to go to this content wrap and also give it a manual spacing, and we will just move it to row 2. And this one we also will give it manual spacing. It should start in column 1 and stay in column 3. So here we go. Okay, looks already pretty much like in the design, except of here. So maybe we will add another column, not a column, another row. Or actually, we don't need it. So if you go here again and move this in row 4, this in row 3, and this actually in row 2. Now we have this spacing up here that I was looking for. And if we add a lottie file here now, call it trust moon, and where's it? Here it is. Here's our moon. It already looks pretty much like in the design. We just have to fix some spacing stuff here. And yeah, regarding the spacing, I can just add a gap for the, actually we can delete the gap for the columns, and we can add something like 6 em here, or maybe even 8. Because now you can see it looks more like in the design. Everything gets more distributed in the section, maybe even a little bit more. Let's try 10. Okay. Looks nice. So now we have to animate the moon while it's scrolling through the section. But before, I have to make some changes to the headlines. Actually, I forgot to turn them into h3 and give them the class is h3. Just going to copy this and do the same here. And also the same here. Otherwise, we would have multiple H1s on this page, and this is really not good for your SEO. So now the animation, I'm going to select the Trust Moon wrap. So that's the thing our moon will scroll or be sticky in. I will expand it to all columns or to all rows. Now we can set up a trigger while scrolling in view. We can play a new scroll animation. Let's call it Trust Moon. And now I'm selecting the moon itself. And now I can choose Lottie here. So, oh, it's collapsed. Yeah, so we start with 0% and we finish at 100%. Let's go into preview mode. Yeah, you can see that it's already scrolling, already working. But I forgot to turn it sticky. So let's get back to the CSS. Select the moon and give it sticky and just choose something like 0 pixels here. Okay, got some trouble here. So the problem we have here that I didn't use a container element here. I used a div element. Actually, that's no problem, but I started this process by using this container element, and I should stick to it. So let's add a container and just give it the class contain call 12, so the same class. We move it up here, and we take everything and put it in here. Now we can delete the old class. And now you can see if I go into preview mode, everything stays centered. Yeah, we have to make some changes here because it stays under the navigation. So we select the moon, we go to this setting, and we have to give some spacing here, something like ADM maybe. Yeah, now you can see that works. I will leave it like this because on the published page, we have some custom code for this navigation that the height of the navigation shrinks once the user scrolls. So that means that here will be a little bit more spacing than we can see now. But to see the entire animation, I'm going to add a spacer. So I'm selecting here my main wrap and just use again my dummy section. My dummy section has already a height of 200 viewport height. So I'm just doing that so I can scroll the entire section. You can see how it works. The buttons work here, so everything fine. I like the result. Maybe let's give it a little bit more distance here, just to be safe. And yeah, I can see the moon is here already touching the text. It doesn't look nice. So we need some kind of spacing here. But we just select the moon and give it a width of, I don't know, something like 22 EM. Okay, that's too small. 25 EM. Okay, that looks fine. And let's check it once more in preview mode. Okay, looks cool. So let's see how it looks responsive. Yeah, looks okay, but yeah, this looks a little bit narrow. So let's go to our grid and decrease this here to something like 7.5 or 0.75, or maybe 0.5. Okay, didn't change much because I have to decrease the this one here. Strange. It's not changing the size really. Yeah, okay, but something like this looks okay to me. We can actually use a little bit gap here, like this, so the moon doesn't touch the text here. Yeah, it looks good like this, and still okay like this. Go again into the settings and give them here 1.25 like this, and also this one 1.25 to increase them a little bit more. And so here we have 0.5 left if we do the math, and yeah, that looks okay now. I forgot to replace one headline here. Okay. And yeah, let's go through the mobile breakpoints. Yeah, we have to do some layout adjustments here. What I'm going to do is I'm bringing the moon all over to the left and all text over to the right. And yeah, we have to do it with this manual settings. We just change this here from 1 to 1. And now we have to touch our first content wrap here. It should start in, or actually I have to make some changes to the grid itself. We only need 2 columns now, and both of these columns, or the first one can be 0.5 and the second one can be 1.5. Here you go. Let's bring this over to column 2, and let's start it in row 1 actually. Same we can do here with the second one. Column 2, row 2, and this one also, column 2 and row 3. Here we go. Yeah, we can decrease this one even more. We can give it 0.25 and this one 1.75. And we probably need to do something on the moon. That was not a good idea. Yeah, something like this. And we can get rid of this left padding here. Okay. Looks good. Here's some more padding. And we can decrease the gap here. Can half it to something like 5. Looks good enough. Okay, if you go into preview mode, yeah, you can see that that works. Or we can change it to 3. And on Portrait Mobile, we will just hide the moon because we don't have enough space here. So we set the display settings to display none. And yeah, delete the first column. Go to our content wraps and just push them to column 1, all. Here we go. Now they're all in column 1. And yeah, that's it for this section. Let's have a look again how it works in the preview mode. You can see it's wonderful scrolling. It also works nicely on tablet, and yeah, on mobile we just hide the moon and looks great. So that wraps it up for this lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it. If it was the first video you were watching, you find the link to the entire playlist in the description. Leave a comment if you have a question about it, and subscribe to the channel not to miss any of the following videos. And as always, stay in the flow.